We live in a rapidly changing world, and I'm sure, like everyone else, I am guilty of handing my data to organisations every hour of every day, oblivious to the impact on my privacy, and I'm guilty of absorbing and using content assuming that it is trustworthy and that it has been obtained fairly. On the other hand, my generation has been fortunate to have seen the introduction of social media and the online world, and to have experienced a time before it, perhaps providing us with a level of scepticism on what we see and the ability to switch it off, distance ourselves from the onslaught to our senses that digital content can provide. But like other interventions of the past, we are now at a crossroads, one where we must pause and not simply plough on. This bill gives us the opportunity to make clear to the tech giants that we are not giving them everything we have created, they cannot own our children, and that we value our data as part of our identity. Some of the amendments presented give us a great opportunity to improve the bill, to make the most of this moment in time and to make sure we do not leave people behind. We know that children's brains continue to develop until they're in their early 20s. We know that young people's development leads them to be risk takers in their adolescence and teenage years, and sometimes as adults we do have to take decisions to curtail their fun to protect them. My own children have enjoyed social media from the age of 13, but as the sector develops and our understanding of its addictive nature improves, it is critical we reflect this in the law. So lifting the age of consent for social media data collection, as in New Clause 1, will help protect our children at the time they need it. It's unimaginable to lose a child, and to do so in the circumstances where the reasons behind their death is unclear, which is why I signed my honourable friend from Cheltenham's New Clause 11, which would allow bereaved parents access to their child's social media content. This should not be necessary, given that GDPR and privacy rights do not apply to those who have died. But the fact that we even need such legislation calls into question the motivation of tech giants and tells us where their interest lies. So I urge the government to support this and welcome the assurance today that more work is going to be done. Madam Deputy Speaker, trust is at an all-time low, not only with government but other authorities like the NHS. As AI changes how we interact with the state, commerce and each other, the public should have a right to know how and when AI is involved in the decisions they make. Transparency matters, and that's why I'm supporting the new clauses proposed by my honourable friend from Harpenden and Berkhamsted. We know that if we use each other's content, we must pay for it, or at least credit it if we're not profiting from it. We know that if we do not, we infringe that copyright. So why should tech giants, probably based in some far-flung place, have a right to scrape it without knowledge or payment? And the idea that they even need to train their systems off the backs of people who've used their talent, time and made their living for creativity is, frankly, obscene. But I really must talk to New Clause 21 and speak strongly against it. I have been overwhelmed by the scale of distress brought about by this awful proposal. It is cruel and it completely undermines the privacy of people who are transgender at a time when they're already feeling victimised. Those who have transitioned socially, medically or surgically are protected in law, and we were told that the Supreme decision last month does not change that. But this amendment does. If it was passed, the sex at birth will be recorded on a driving licence or a passport, outing every trans person whenever they buy an age-restricted product, change their job, travel abroad, or even come to Parliament to visit their MP. Not only is this a fundamental breach, it's potentially dangerous. They will be prevented from travelling to countries with poor records on rights. They will be at higher risk of suicide and self-harm, as they already are. My constituent told me this is a direct attempt to erase me from public record. Please reject this amendment.